This is Jeremy Sports Network coming to you live. Hey, you guys, today we are going to talk about the NFC South. And with the NFC South, we're going to talk a little bit about the Atlanta Falcons, right? I hope you guys aren't still feeling that hangover from the Super Bowl because I believe Atlanta can make it back to the playoffs. I'm not going to necessarily say the Super Bowl because it takes a lot in order to make it to the Super Bowl, but I believe they can make it back to the playoffs this year because they have a lot of returning players, and also they have a great team. They have a great young team at that, and they're charged with trying to avoid the Super Bowl hangover after collapsing against the Patriots in Houston. But the Falcons avoided losing any key members while adding a playmaker on defense in Dontarian Poe, which is going to be a great acquisition. And they have an elite return man and high quality depth receiver in Andre Roberts. So you can't ask for much with a team with no major holes to make their way back to claim what's rightfully theirs in their eyes, which is a Super Bowl title. You still have Jalen Collins, Robert Alford, Trufant. You still have Julio Jones. You have an MVP quarterback in Matt Ryan. Devontae Freeman. You have a lot of key pieces if you're the Atlanta Falcons. And it should be a good thing if you're a Falcons fan because you do know that you have the opportunity to still make it back with having a great young team. At the same time, it's going to take a lot of hard work to make it back. We've seen what happened in Carolina after Carolina made it to the Super Bowl, and then the next year we seen what happened after that. Everybody's going to have Atlanta numbered now going into this year, and they're going to play Atlanta very hard. It's up to Atlanta to accept the challenge and make sure that they come ready to ball every Sunday in the NFL. Now, moving right along to one of the teams who I feel as though can win the division with the key acquisitions that they made, and that's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And they are moving rapidly to improve with Jameis Winston and the new weapon that they have in Deshaun Jackson, who still runs a 4.35 in the 40. Him and Mike Evans on the opposite side, that should be complete domination for Tampa Bay. Right? You would think so. And they also added cheap talent and experience up front on the D-line with the addition of the defensive tackle Chris Baker. So think about Tampa Bay is really getting good on the outside where they had a lot of problems at in the receiving core, and on that defensive line, they're bucking up on the defensive line with adding Chris Baker. So they're put right back on track. I don't know specifically where they're going to go in the draft as far as who they're going to pick, but we'll discuss that in another show. But I feel like Tampa Bay is doing all the right things in order to put themselves in position to win a division. They outplayed Atlanta in Atlanta last year. I believe they split last year. But at the same time, they can compete now with Atlanta with Deshaun Jackson now on that squad. That poses a threat, and it will keep the defenses honest. And that's what I like about that move with adding Deshaun Jackson to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, moving right along, we're going to talk about the Carolina Panthers. Now, the Carolina Panthers, man, I really don't know. I have a lot of question marks right now with Carolina. I understand you trying to tailor-make the offense for Cam Newton. You got rid of some key players. You got rid of Mike Talbot and those guys. You're trying to change up a lot of things, but you bring in Matt Khalil, and Julius Peppers won't make them much better on either side of the ball. But Khalil hasn't ranked positively in Pro Football Focus since 2012, and Peppers 37 years old. So the only thing good with Carolina is the fact that you don't think they'll be 6-10, given the fact that this is a whole new year. They have Kelvin Benjamin still. You still have Jonathan Stewart in a nice, decent, okay run game right now, but offensive line has a lot of questions. I believe you still have questions in your receiving core, and you still have questions defensively if you're Carolina that needs to be addressed in the draft. Carolina has a lot of glaring holes. I don't think they're going to win a lot of games. I will give them a 7-win season, but that's it in Carolina with Cam Newton. I see them losing a whole lot more than they are going to win, especially in this tough division with Atlanta being extremely good and Tampa Bay now on the rise. It's tough. It's tough. Now on down to the last team is the New Orleans Saints. They are slowly building up, slowly rebuilding the defense. But this defense, even though it was ranked 27th last year, you still have Drew Brees as your quarterback. Yes, you lost Brandon Cooks. But at the same time, do you know how many picks they have in the first 42 picks of the NFL draft? They have 3. So they get an opportunity to where they could draft either a running back, another wide receiver, or they can go defense and get either a shutdown corner or they could get a defensive lineman. It is packed with defensive linemen in this draft. And New Orleans had the ability, or they can make some trades with having those 3 picks in order to bring in some more key acquisitions onto their roster, which is good if you're New Orleans. And at the same time, what I don't like, the news that's coming out of New Orleans, is the fact that Johnny Manziel is supposedly going to be the backup for Drew Brees. Now, although it's rumors and speculations, but do I believe it's going to happen? It remains to be seen. But who knows? Who knows? Tampa Bay is really good. Atlanta is really good. Carolina struggling on the defense. And you have New Orleans, who has the opportunity to be back in the forefront of the division if they're able to make some key acquisitions within the draft and trades with having those draft picks. So it remains to be seen. But this is a full report on the NFC. Be looking for a full report on it. This is the NFC South. I'm sorry. Be looking for your next full report on the NFC East. We're going to talk about some things that's taking place in the NFC East as far as the New York Giants, the Dallas Cowboys, the Redskins, and the Eagles are concerned. So please make sure you tune in and subscribe. This is Jeremy Sports Network. I'm signing out. Y'all have a good one. Please make sure you subscribe to my page. Hit that like button. Hit that bell icon so you can be notified every time Jeremy Sports Network has given you new content. This is Jeremy Sports Network. I'm signing out. Peace.